Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey, how we doing today, everybody? Are we good? Y'all good? Hopefully everybody's doing well. Thank you very much, Mano, for the early contribution. I appreciate you. Okay. So I ran up on something that I thought was very interesting. And I'm going to share it with you guys. And I went to the rest of this lady's Instagram page. I couldn't make heads or tails out of it because so many of her videos was this kind of stuff that I'm going to show you. A bunch of nothing really. I'm going to show you the video, but the video itself is not as important as what's written next to it. So I'm going to play it. Now it says, over the last couple of years, I've intentionally documented my healing journey on social media. Now, this woman, at the time of this video, she says she's 54. She was in a 30-year marriage that she ended. I've gotten a lot of feedback about how my journey has inspired others to do their own work, i.e., I've shared what I had to share, and it has inspired other women to break their long-standing marriages. That's what do their own work mean. But occasionally I get feedback from people like the man who says I was dancing like a clown and faking like I was unbothered. Or the woman who felt I was too happy about my divorce. And it reminds me that not everyone is going to get it, but the ones who get it, get it. I'm not ecstatic about my divorce. I'm ecstatic about my healing. I hate the way they try to change these words around and try to throw people off like stuff not what it is. I worked hard for it, so I show up unapologetically in it. If you overstand and are ready to do the work, schedule your consult today. Let me help you. I got you. Have options available at all levels. So she's monetized. She's monetized breaking her marriage up. Now, the reason that I went or tried to go through the rest of her page is because I was trying to ascertain where she said the reasons why she left her marriage. If she said it in one of those clips, I'm not going to find it because the vast majority of them that I randomly clicked on as I scrolled backwards was this kind of stuff here. Dancing and, whatever, with a little track in the back with a little writing. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't speak to anything deep. It didn't speak to any wisdom newfound or anything. It didn't tell me she was healing. She's found a way to monetize it by being like a divorce coach, I guess. That's the best way I can put that, because she's certainly not telling people how to remain married. She's trying to talk to women about what they need to do to leave their husbands and how they need to proceed after such a divorce to try to make sure that they convince themselves that they're all right and that they weren't. See, the biggest convincing that they're trying to do is that they wasn't the problem. 30 whole years, and you would not get her to admit where she was the problem at. You couldn't pay her to honestly sit somewhere and look you in your eyeball and say, I was doing this and this and this and this thing in my marriage, and it greatly contributed to the downfall and to the breaking of my marriage. Yes, beloved. Whole demon. It's demonic activity. And that's not even hyperbole that my husband is using. It's demonic activity. And the reason why it's demonic activity is because that is, and I've said it many times, I mean that is one of Shaitan's biggest achievements in the world, is to break the marriage, thus breaking the family. It's untold problems breaking the marriage, because see, Allah has already provided the divorce in extreme circumstances where a divorce may actually be necessary. So he didn't outlaw divorce. Divorce is not completely outlawed. It's just that there's got to be some very serious kind of ongoing things that's happening in the marriage that can't be rectified. And we are more than encouraged to try getting arbitration between the families. If the families can't do it, scholars should do it. People that you respect, that people care, Muslims that care about the condition of your relationship and whether or not it can be resolved and whether or not things can be corrected so that you can move on with your marriage in a healthy, positive way. Even if a man pronounced one talaq to his wife, there's like 3 months where to allow for the reconciliation of the marriage. If the marriage can be reconciled, anything to prevent breaking the marriage just for no reason. Because if you go through all of them steps and you can't resolve it or retrieve it, it's more than likely irretrievable, and you probably do have to get divorced at that point. So by Allah not outlawing divorce, it automatically leads us to understand that there is a such thing as an irretrievable marriage. One that breaks down to such an extent that the two people can no longer be together and be positive and healthy and amicable. Can't do it. However, with that being said, every step is there to prevent it from happening. to such an extent, and I'm not trying to go into an Islamic teaching with y'all, but this is the perspective that I always have to come from anyways, that the marriage tie is actually in the man's hands and not the woman. The wife cannot pronounce a talaq to the husband. That's for him to do. Now, does she have a recourse? Yes, but it's not just telling him to lock. That's not her recourse. That's his. And the reason that it is in his hands, as we can see from the stats, who initiates the divorce more often in America? Over 80% of the divorces initiated are done so by women. This is what happens when the woman can divorce you willy-nilly. A man is more prone to maintain the marriage tie in the hopes that it can be retrieved. Bit more rational, not so quick to pull the trigger just off of any little thing. That's the concept behind that. He's not so reactionary as a woman, more prone to think about the ramifications of a divorce, and more ready to work on his marriage and not actually pull that trigger like that. So when you come into a system that allows women to just do the whole no fault divorce thing, they don't have to explain nothing, they don't have to tell nobody nothing, they don't have to go through an arbitration period, they don't have to go through a cooling off period, they don't have to go through a period where it forces them to really truly consider all of the outcomes and all of the repercussions for the decision. No forced, just a separation period. Because many times the separation period will help. Like, I don't know was it really that bad? Let's see if it can, and maybe if it was, let's see what we can do to work on it. What's the work? This is why I don't like the language. Because the language is deceitful. The language is deceitful. I'm not ecstatic about my divorce. I'm ecstatic about my healing. Here's my issue, especially with breaking long marriages. And before I go into that, I'm going to come back to this. This is what she writes. This is her caption. Bottom line, as long as I've been transparently sharing my journey online, there have been people who don't get it, but more importantly, there's been an overwhelming number of women and men who do, because they've been there, are there, or just came from there. My journey wasn't easy. I didn't even believe healing was possible for me, but I did the work anyway and have reaped the benefits of getting my breakthrough. My prevailing message is that there's peace, joy, and healing on the other side of doing the work. And I can help some, not all, of you get there. If you want to see if I can be helpful in your journey, if you want to see if I can help you break your marriage, schedule a consult. You know where the link is, or comment consult in the comments. Whatever you do, don't put your healing off. Don't put off the breaking of your marriage tomorrow when you can break it today. You've got dancing to do. Now, what made me want to do the video isn't just her, it's the comments. Exactly how I felt about my divorce from my first husband. Had 2 children at the time, 14 years together, 10 married. I'm not even going to finish it. Those who get it, because I'm going through the same thing after 19 years. Okay. Please pray for me. 44 years in, 33 married. I'm 57, celebrating my divorce after 35 years. Understand, with a person for 22 years and married 12 of them. I'm not finishing the comments on purpose. I'm not finishing the comments on purpose. The reason I'm not finishing those comments on purpose is because not one of those females that posted, and they were all women, said anything about why. And these are long marriages, 15 years plus. Not one of them did I see a viable reason, whether you coming from a secular standpoint or a spiritual standpoint, an Islamic standpoint, or a Christian standpoint. I'm gonna kind of talk about this for a second. The breaking of long marriages. Even if this man, because it's always the man's fault, right? These women ain't never the problem. That's the other thing. Not one of them women said, I had to break the marriage because I was the problem. Nope. It's always said in such a way for the person to assume that this man was some monster. And they finally had to get away from him. Many of these women was with these men 5, 6, 7 years prior to a marriage. Prior to marriage. Got into a marriage, stayed there. Another 15 years, whatever. Only to now jump out of the marriage, and we're supposed to infer, we're supposed to use our context clues to automatically understand that it's these men's fault. All of them. Not one of these men was any good. And not one of these women contributed heavily in any of these cases to the demise and the destruction of their marriage. You can't pay me to believe it. You can't pay me to believe it. Here's the problem. One of the problems that I'm having with that. You've been knowing this man for 30 some odd years and you don't know who he is. That's a lie, and the truth ain't in you. That's a lie from the pits of hell, and the truth is not in you. You cannot tell me. You can't tell me you was with this man 4, 5, 6 years before you got married. You saw who he was. You was probably shacking up with him. So you saw his shortcomings. You saw his personality. You saw what he was doing. You understood who this man was. You wanted him anyway. For whatever reason you wanted him. Maybe you wanted him for selfish reasons. Maybe whatever the case may have been. Then you agreed to walk down an aisle with this same man. And you want me to believe 20 years after that he crawled out of a trick bag yesterday? Now you can't take it no more. And you gotta go. Whoever he has been, that's who he been. That's who he is. The shortcomings that he had on day one, he still got them. He still got them. Because see, but you thought you was going to be able to make him not do certain things. You thought you was going to be able to make him change certain things. You thought you were going to be able to subdue him in some kind of way. And when you could not subdue him, that's when you got tired. This whole thing. Because even if he were whooping on you till you rope like okra, you stayed 30 years for it. You stayed 30 years for somebody to whoop on your head, whoop you down to a fine sauce. Because I guarantee you, women that are truly abused by them men, first thing is they be scared of them. They be scared of them men. Because the men whoops them, and they whoops them bad. I don't mean fighting together because we fighting and arguing and we want them fighting couples. I'm not talking about them. Them chicks want to fight. I ain't talking about the chick that she gonna go toe for toe and blow for blow. I ain't talking about her. She like fight. That turn her on. I'm talking about the one that's really getting whooped on. And I wager that's a minority of women, not the majority. They be scared of them men. And getting away from them is not a fun experience, and it's not an easy experience either. But the majority of them women do not be with them men for 30, 40 years. They may be with them for some years. Because a person that's finna be psycho inches, they turn the dial up. You know that analogy about putting the frogs in the water? If the water boiling, they jump back out. But if you turn the dial up little by little, they don't know they boiling. But you can't pay me to believe that of the percentage of divorces that are initiated by women, that the vast majority of those marriages is on that type of level of abuse or not far from it. You can't pay me to believe that. Because that's not what they be saying. The reason you can't pay me to believe that is because that's not what they be saying. Because they be doing the Tia thing. They be Tia-ing. I just got to find myself again. And, I just got to do the work. And I just got to heal. They'll never heal. Have you ever stopped to think that the stuff that you doing now as a single woman that you feel so good about, you could have been doing that while you was in your marriage and felt good about it? Has it ever occurred to you that all of this, now I go to the gym all the time and I run every morning and I feel so good. Maybe if you was doing that in your marriage would still be here. Because I don't know too many men, and it's a sad one indeed, that would purposely prevent his wife from doing things like staying in shape and being healthy, trying to look good, trying to do things that make her feel good. That, and I'm not talking about destructive things. I'm talking about constructive, productive things. Making sure your health is good, that's a good thing. Making sure you go to the gym and run and, eat healthy. That's a good thing. Making sure you keep yourself up and you feel good and you look good and you feel sexy and you look, that's a good thing. I don't really know no men that be like, nah, not my wife. She ain't finna be around here looking good. And the reason why it ain't gonna be no majority of men, no large amount of men doing that is because he wants a woman to look good, even if he don't. He can be sitting there with a big belly down to his knees. And I ain't seen damn man turn down a woman that look good to him. Especially if she already there with him. If anything, let's say you was a couple and y'all didn't never really, y'all big backs together. Big back couple. And she stayed, I don't want to be big backed no more. And she started getting herself together. He gonna start feeling away. Now, if he got any sense, he not gonna stop her from doing it. He gonna say, hey, maybe if her back getting small, maybe I ought to do something about mine. My back kind of big. Maybe I ought to get in the gym with her. Instead of being worried about what she doing at that gym, I ain't gonna have to worry about what she doing at the gym because I'm gonna be right there next to her. And we both gonna be lifting these little weights and whatever and sweating bullets. And ain't did but 5 minutes worth of work. We was big back together. We gonna be little backed together. She ain't gonna outdo me. And what that do is that helps strengthen the bond in your marriage. Because now one person get healthy, the other one ain't gotta feel some type of way. Or if the husband start getting healthy, now the wife feel insecure because her man looking good and she's still a big back. Well, get on in there then, jump in with him then. That's just an example. Because he's not gonna want to sit there with a big gut out there looking like he's 12 months pregnant and her body start bodying. He gonna be attracted to her, but then he gonna start looking at him like, well, is she attracted to me now? Because we was cool when we was both fat, but I don't know. My gut getting in the way now. First it was both our guts. Now it's just mine. I don't like it because these men have been who they are for the past 3 decades or more. That's the man you married. And I just find it so hard to believe that these men are monsters. Just all of a sudden. One day they crawled out of a trick bag and you don't know what to do. You couldn't pay these women to sit down somewhere and tell you when their marriage started breaking and what was breaking it. So inattentive they are to their husbands. So inattentive that they would not be able to tell you, well, right around such and such time, our marriage started to change. And you really won't be able to get her to take accountability and say, I helped it do that. I helped it die. I helped kill it. We're going to go to a commercial break. But I really want to deep dive into that aspect. How the women break their marriages. They don't see nothing wrong with what they doing. The stuff they do to break their marriages, they don't even conceive it to be wrong. This is why you will never get them to say, I was the problem. Even in retrospect. Even in hindsight. After these messages, we'll be right back. So I need everybody to go to Ashkickcom, pick you up some of this awesome body butter. Make sure that your skin continues to be moisturized and soft and smelling and looking wonderful. And there's no better way to do that than to click on the link at the top of the chat, Ashkickcom, and go ahead and pick up your body butter and other personal care items. If this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using a promo code Crimson at checkout. I don't know how many likes I need, but I owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button, bam, bam. You got to Go ahead and hit the like button for me. Let me get to these super chats and comments. MR New Groove, been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much for that awesome support. So good afternoon, Sister Kendra. I was just wondering, will you participate in voting in this election? No, I do not participate in votes. I'll be having my opinion, but specific reasons personal reasons, I don't do it. Thank you, Little Rock, for your super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you, Bakish, for your super sticker as well. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Tix, for your contribution. Appreciate you. Thank you, Rasta's Realities. Appreciate your work. Thank you so much. Tix, do not get me started. Thank you so much. There have been a lot of lies told on Al Gore's internet and social media tonight. But that you can believe. Don't tell me, do not get me started on movie references, because that was actually my favorite line out of all the whole Django movie. Leonardo standing up there talking about there's been a lot of lies told around this table here tonight. But thank you. So include this woman pretending to be a coach on Beyonce's Instagram. I appreciate you. I thought of another video that I would like to point out. I want to see if I can find it. It shouldn't be too far down. Should not be too far down. Oh, it's right here, matter of fact. And this video here illustrates the inattentiveness of women and the selfishness of so many women in these marriages. It's this type of selfishness that breaks it.
Married?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Is he happy?
Oh, that's a weird question. Usually they ask if I'm happy.
Yeah, like it's a different kind of an interview. I'm just, because he's not here, like I want to show my care for him as well. Is he happy? Your answer is yes, no? You don't wanna answer that question?
No.
I think it's okay. I think we got the answer.
Who we?
That's me and the camera guy. You got it, bro?
And fuck. And fuck.
Are you married?
Yes. Are you married? You see how she smiles and says yes, 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 yes. Mm, mm. Threw her for a whole loop. He didn't ask if she was happy. He asked if he was happy. She said, that's a strange question. Is that right? Because these hyenas, and she's a hyena, do not ever bother to ask, inquire, inspect, be concerned about, be interested in, or think one moment about the happiness level of the man that they married to. So concerned is she about whether or not he make her happy, whether or not she's content, whether or not she likes what's going on. Never stop for a moment on God's green earth to ask that man, to turn to that man and say, baby, are you okay in this relationship? Not are you okay right now, but are you okay in this relationship? What can I do? What can I do for you? What can I do? Because you do so much. You do so much. The things I can see that you do and the things that I cannot. I'm well taken care of. We don't live pillar to post. The problems that we have in our marriage are minor, small challenges, nothing to be too upset about. Yeah, we got some quirks here and there, but certainly nothing for me I have not lost any sleep. I am satisfied in this relationship, but my concern is, are you satisfied in this relationship? She never once bothered. Are you satisfied? Are your needs getting met? Are you as happy with this relationship as I am? And if not, because this is what they scared of. They don't ever ask him because they scared of the answer. If he's honest and says, well, it's all right, but there are some things that I'm concerned about. And you got the power to do something about it. I would be even more content if When you finish watching this lady, are you married? She cheesing.
Cool.
Yes.
Is he happy?
Oh, that's a weird question. Usually they ask if I'm happy.
Yeah, but like, it's a different kind of an interview. I'm just, because he's not here, like, I want to show my care for him as well. Is he happy?
right here, right there, when he repeats the question, she's thinking of all the times that he told her he wasn't happy. That's what went through her head. That's why her eyes did that. Because now she got to think about it. All the times where he just silently went out of the door because you fussed that morning and he left for work and y'all didn't say, love you, babe. Or if he did, it was dry, out of habit. Okay, I'll talk to you later. And he went out of the door with his shoulders slumped. Or he came in with his head down. You don't greet him at the door. You're not happy to see him. 1,000,001 complaints to this man. Little things you can do. You don't have to saddle him with it. You don't have to burden him with all those things. See, women don't understand. Women do not understand something very simple. You are a burden. Full stop. Lionesses too. You're a burden. You are a responsibility. You are a weight. The key to offset any negative feeling or thought about you being a burden and a weight is whether or not you are going to be an asset to this man or a liability in his life. Because there's a difference between dead weight and live weight. Nobody likes to haul around dead weight. It don't move. It don't help you. It's just there. It's awkward. Hard to get a handle on it. You a bird. But you have to offset that. And the way that you offset it is you have to be vigilant in whether or not this man is satisfied with you in this relationship. And you have to ask him. I don't know why female intuition work for everything but that. Everything but whether or not this man is content in and peaceful in this relationship. Your intuition work for everything else. There are those of you who want to go through phones. There are those of you who want to question him. There are those of you who want to, backseat drive him and all of this other kind of stuff. You never stop. Now, one time, you don't stop. You don't stop. You don't stop. And you don't ask because you don't care. Okay. You don't want his Yelp review. You don't want it. You don't want his Yelp review. You don't want his verified purchase review of you and how you have managed to make him feel in this relationship. You've managed to make him feel underappreciated, unloved, disliked. You've managed to make him feel like a utility, like a servant. You don't bother telling him you're proud of him about nothing. You don't bother telling him you love him about nothing. You don't bother to tell this man you see him. He don't know if you see him the same way you saw him when y'all first got together and you had stars in your eyes when you looked at him. Now you got a frown and you rolling your eyes. And he trying to figure out what has changed because he's done his best not to change. She looking like that because she knows she done sat there and sucked the life out that dang old man. That man walk around there with no light in his eyes no more. He not happy and she know he not. Then after such a long pause, that demon in a F you and F you, he is happy. No, he ain't. That man lives in a virtual hell with you. And you think because you don't stand toe to toe with him and cuss him out that you ain't doing wrong. You can talk soft and be disrespectful. I don't know why people think you can't. Just because you put your little voice on doesn't mean that you're not tearing somebody down. Women do a myriad of things that break their marriage. Neglecting their husbands is the main one. You neglect them. You talking about your neglecting what he don't do and what you start neglecting him. You're so comfortable in your position that you don't feel like you gotta upkeep the stuff that you was doing before. You always lay that at the man's feet. It's at your feet too. It's not just at his feet. It's at your feet. And then you get arrogant. When he do tell you, that was the look on this chick's face. That's the look on her face. This one pinned her. He pinned her. She looking down because she knows. She knows. Not one time have I bothered at all to make sure he was good in this relationship. And here you have all of these females, I will refuse to call them women, that jump on the internet. Not the internet, but the internet. That's where all the foolishness is at. Education and productive things are on the internet. Foolishness is on the internet. And you jump on there to spread them demons. Go ahead, leave your husband, break your marriage after 20, 30, 40 years. You've been with that man. You don't perceive that the nagging and the ranting and the neglect that you have done has managed to break. Anything that you don't maintain and upkeep will break. And your marriage has been breaking here and there. It's been cracks and fissures and all this stuff. And you have not even so much as bothered to get nail glue to put it back together. You just sat there and watched it do it and wanted him to fix it. No effort. being coddled and told that you're right and that he gotta fix it. All of it. You're not required to fix nothing. It's never your fault. You never have to put the effort in. You never have to jump in and get your hands dirty too. Women are not the only ones that like effort made on them. Your husband want effort made on him. No time do you give him positive energy, positive feedback. I don't care if he's supposed to do it. I don't care. I don't care if it's his job. Because you definitely want a Scooby snack for your job that you have doing. I don't care that it's his job to pay the mortgage and pay the rent and pay a bill. I don't care that it's his job to take you somewhere to whatever you think it is. You don't ever even say thank you. You don't open your full mouth to even say thank you to him and mean it. You pull back affection when you get ready. You don't want to have sex with him when you feel away. Anything, everything to break the intimacy, to break the bonds. You're breaking them. Or worse yet, you watch it be broke and you do nothing to fix it. That's even worse. You go to therapy because you want somebody to tell you you're right. Yeah, you want a sister girl moment. Yeah, he ought to be doing such and such for you, and he need to work on this, and you don't want nobody to tell you what you got to work on and what you got to do. You going somewhere trying to fix your husband, and you the problem. You trying to fix him, you the problem. Huh? Oh, you don't like that? That don't taste good. Now, if he sat there and ran down to you every fault and flaw and problem, you'll be reduced to ashes. You'll just disintegrate right in the spot. And then you march down somewhere, have the audacity to march down in somebody's courthouse and sign a paper. Talking about you need to be happy now. And then proceed to get on TikTok and Instagram and dance to stupid music. That's your happy. That's what you wanted to graduate from your marriage to do. To get on the internet with your own self. When we grew up, we had no internet. What is you doing? You watched iPhones come into existence. What are you doing? Now all of a sudden you addicted to social media when you was old enough to watch, to be in college when CompuServe and Netscape was a thing. And when AOL was the biggest thing popping. You old enough to go from records to Spotify, and now you obsessed with the internet. If you want to have counseling and help you do your work, shut up. Those who get it, get it. We get it. We get it. We do get it. And then you wonder why the men are not jumping up and down to marry you because you do this stuff. You don't know how to work on yourself during the marriage to better you, to level yourself up, and that helps you be content. It actually helps bring the marriage together. You rather break your marriage and go off and do something else. Now, and a few years after that, you be crying, trying to find another man when you ran off the one you had. You tired of system, order, and structure now. You don't want him to tell you nothing. You don't want him to critique and correct. You don't want him to sit you down and say, listen, let me tell you something, ladies. And this is where lionesses shine. The critique hurt us too. Our feelings get hurt about it. We don't like it either. But the difference is I'd rather know than not know. Because when I know that there's something that I can do, if my husband tell me, baby, you know, I need you to step it up. You got to step it up, boo. You know, this is going on. That's going on. You know, baby, I'm going to cry like a baby. Do you understand me? I'm going to cry, but I'm going to boo-hoo. I'm going to ugly cry. I'm going to be ugly. But do you know why I'm going to be ugly? I'm going to tell you where the ugly, where that cry going to come from. I'm going to tell you why. It's not so much that he holding me accountable. That's little on the scale. The bigger part of it is to know that I have been acting or not acting, doing or lacking to do something, and my husband is hurt behind it. He hurt behind it. And he hurt behind it. You know he hurt behind it because he brought it to you. And he brought it to you not to rub your face in it. He want to be okay. And you can help. That's where it comes from. I hurt him. I'm hurting him. I'm maybe neglecting him, or he feels some type of way, whatever way he feeling. But after you get through snotting and everything, take your accountability for it. Yes. Okay. And then do it. Whatever it is that he asked you to do or to not do, or whatever the case may be, if it is within your power, then you got to do it. And don't let your ego get in the way. Why he want me to do? It don't matter. It don't even matter. Well, I've been a good wife. Well, what you talking about? He talking about this right here. He didn't say everything you did was bad. I know we hear stuff with our woman ears. I know. I get it. I'm a woman. I hear stuff with my woman ears all day. I hear stuff with my woman ears every day. So it don't be feeling good. You be like, dang, I messed up that bad. But I'd rather know it have to take the L, but at the same time, I got a way to make it better. So the marriage don't just gotta fall. You can help. You can do something. Y'all don't never fight for y'all marriage. Y'all fight for these divorces, but you don't fight for your marriage. You want him to fight for you. Ain't nobody fighting for you. You don't make no effort. You watch the marriage break and then you look at him like you ain't in the relationship as well. He's supposed to provide. Get out of here, leech. You ain't nothing but a parasite. You a symbiote. But you worse than Venom. At least we like Venom. Venom is funny. At least Venom is funny. Venom is a symbiote, but at least he protects. He don't let Eddie get hurt. He a symbiote. He be on his BS, but he don't be letting Eddie get hurt at the very least. You worse than a symbiote. You a parasite. You a parasite. And when you done, you kill your host. It be bothering me. It be really literally like bothering me. Like, what else can I do? I see the stuff my husband do for me. I see what kind of man he is. It make you so proud. She was proud. She was proud of her husband. Till she got to getting asked whether essentially is he happy translates into what effort do you make in this relationship? Because when I asked if you were married, you started smiling. So he makes effort. When I asked if he was happy, you frown. That means you don't make effort. It exposed that she don't make no effort in her relationship. And unfortunately, she is not in the minority. Cause she didn't even so much as say, I hope he happy. She didn't even say that. She ain't even say that. She did not even say, man, I hope he happy. I be trying. She knows she don't even try. You can at least get a lioness to me, man. I hope he happy, man. I be trying to, do. I know I can do this some improvement. She ain't been thinking about that man. Take. And feminine energy is a receptive energy. We are takers. But you got to give something back. And not that nonsense. I ain't talking about give something back and you giving back nonsense. I ain't talking about that. You got to give back some good stuff. You got to give back some good stuff. Thank you, Chicago Channel said, how is toxic selfishness reinforced by the lost value system? First of all, by the spiritual value where there is no truth. This is where the delusions reside. Anytime there's no truth in a place, lies are there. Nature abhors a vacuum. So when we have no truth, we have lies. Lies is hand in hand with delusions. Delusions, toxic selfishness. I'm selfish. I only take. I never give. And then I delude myself into believing that it don't even matter that I'm operating like this. That it's not even a big deal that I operate this way. That's where the real delusion is at. That's where the destruction is at. It's not even a big deal that I'm doing it. That's how so many, the women that are the initiates of these divorces, that's how they think. Even if I was doing something, it wasn't that big of a deal. He'd be all right. Thank you, Lady D says, girls, we see the fairy tale, and many of us live in La La Land, even with a strong masculine father in the home. My parents were married over 30 years unto death. I was in La La Land too, until I met my husband in college. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kevin McAllister said, awesome stuff. And thank you so much, Brian Mays, both of you, for your very generous contributions. I appreciate you both. Thank you so much. 1972 OG Tony said, cooking. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Regal Supreme. Say amen, sister. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thanos was right. Says she's on fire. And Bernard Go Hard. Thank you as well. I appreciate y'all's contributions greatly, greatly, greatly. Somebody go ahead and put the Black Community Speak link in the chat, please. Please, please, please. Thank you so much, Miss Nicole. You guys, before we sign out,
friends and family, I would like you to check out blackcommunityspeak.com. Now, blackcommunityspeak.com is a forum-based website, so something that's very simple, where you can get on, you can get off, get involved with a lot of topics. Now, Black Community Speaks is a place that's for Black men and women to talk about issues that's affecting the entire community. So on blackcommunityspeak.com, they talk about topics in the range of news, what's going on in society, relationships, technology, business, food and recipes, gaming, health and fitness, music, and many, many more. On Black Community Speak, it's a place where you can be safe to say what you want to say without the fear of big tech censorship. So make sure you head on over to blackcommunityspeak.com and sign up today.
All right, make sure to hit the link. I gotta go. Jump down in the comments section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, Sister Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.